episode, we're going to start with the details of what you need to understand before you start this venture. Chicken farming can become complicated and simple at the same time. Also, there are many challenges involved in this business. And lastly, we're going to show you how to make sure that you are on top of your game and you understand what you need to do to be able to get to the finish line. Remember, we are doing all this to make money. It is not that we are trying to become chicken farmers forever. It is that we are in the business of making money. So if your bottom line is not making sense, definitely that won't be sustainable. So the first thing you need to understand before getting into the chicken business is that there are different types of chickens to rear. Majorly, there are 4 types. There is the original Kienyeji chicken, the one that is found there in the rural areas. It takes very long to grow. It is considered very tasty and good for making soups. However, it takes very long to cook, and chewing in our modern day teeth can become a difficult affair. However, these chickens are known to naturally brood. Inamaanisha zinalalia mayai zenyewe. They are still in their very natural state. Now we come to the second type of chicken, which is our Kienyeji improved. They are called Croiler, Rainbow, Sussex. They have all names out there. This is the Kienyeji chicken that has been improved in terms of it can grow up to 3 kilograms. It grows very fast. In a period of 4 to 5 months, it is ready. Another thing, it is dual purpose. It can be kept for meat and it can be kept for eggs. However, these chickens do not brood. Inamaanisha, they do not naturally have the urge to sit on their eggs. But because they grow very fast, and you can do this in large scale, a lot of people have imported incubators from China to help brood the eggs into chicks. And that's a whole other business that we can discuss as well. The third type of chicken is what you know as commercial layers. They are usually brown in color and all look uniform. However, you need to understand that it takes 6 months until they start laying. This means that you need enough capital to be able to last you with feeds for the entire time before they start giving you back the money. They do last for 18 months while laying, so it means you will get your money back. And with the current prices of eggs in the country, you gotta make your money with the commercial layer. The fourth type is the broilers. This one take about 38 days or 5 weeks to mature. They are bred for meat only. They are regarded as very tender and used widely for many recipes. They can be found in a lot of butcheries, supermarkets, and everywhere you go. People really love the broilers, especially those guys who enjoy KFC and Kenchik. So now that you have the different types of basic chicken in Kenya, let us go into the different types of how you can rear them. One, you can use cage system. This is popular with those guys who are doing layers, where you put them in cages, and it's very efficient in terms of feeding, and watering is automized, which means you can use less workers because you just need to put it into the feeding troughs and you're done for the day. Another thing is that there is the open litter system. This is where you have a huge house like ourselves and you just let the birds roam at their comfort. In this way, you can be able to collect their manure and you can add sawdust so that it's not smelly like the caged chicken type. Another one is the free range. This is the traditional way, where you wake up in the morning and you allow your birds to just loiter around the compound and scavenge for their own food. As much as you're giving them a little bit of unga here and there, they look and scavenge and search for their own food. This one can be complicated because they can get diseases out there, but they can also take so much time to grow because they have to look for their own feeds and they are losing a lot of weight through the walking and searching and scratching on the ground looking for those yummy worms. The fourth type is where you have the Muzungu type. This is where you have open litter and they are outside in the grass eating grass. However, they are under a trailer and they are pulled depending on how much grass they are eating. This is the Wazungu style of doing large scale free range chicken. It is usually very good for the environment because the chicken give back and they means that grass will grow next time, and then they move to another new patch just like that all around the year. While you're still in your research phase, it is important to remember to have a breakdown in terms of the costs and the revenues that you expect on how much you're going to make before you start the venture. Always do simple calculations. Your business plan doesn't have to be extensive, but at least it should have the cost of feeds, the cost of the birds, the cost of medicine, labor, if any case you need it, and things like logistics. After you have your costs, also check into the market and try and survey some of the places that you might sell either your birds or your eggs, and then determine what is the estimated market price of those products, and use that to calculate and see how much will be your profit margin. Always take this opportunity as a learning curve. Do not give up just because you're not going to make millions of money. You can always scale and add and improve the number of birds as your knowledge and capacity increases. This means that you can be able to have an opportunity to grow and become a big chicken farmer. Remember, our president was also a chicken farmer. He used to hawk eggs in Nakuru, and look at him now leading our nation. So there is something with this chicken business, don't you think? I agree. Most importantly, do not forget about the infrastructure of the house. Chicken farming is very critical to the kind of house that they are gonna live in. So basically, a lot of people use mabati because it is cheaper and it is easier to build. For us, we did not have enough money to go to the hardwares to buy. So we went to a scrap metal dealer and we bought the mabatis according to the kilo. I know you might laugh, and we did suffer for this decision when the heavy rains came. And there was so much leakage leading to that bacteria called coryza, which is a story we're going to discuss when discussing the challenges. Another thing about the infrastructure is the floor has to be nice and dry. It is important that you keep your chicken dry, and one of the ways people are doing nowadays is putting a mesh down so that the manure just goes right down and that ammonia does not affect your chicken. Ventilation is also a very critical aspect. Make sure that your house, your chicken house, has enough air. We use mesh wire to make sure that air is flowing in and out. Also at the top, make sure that you leave a gap for that hot air, that ammonia coming from the manure to also escape. Otherwise, this will become deadly for your birds. Additionally, if you are stocking layers, it's good to remember to put the laying cages so that they have a place to lay that is private. Chickens don't like laying in the open. So they will look for somewhere where it's dark and with a nice corner. So you can put the boxes to ensure that they are comfortable in their laying process. Remember, birds lay every 27 hours, which means that you have to optimize if you are in the egg laying business. Another aspect you need to remember is to ensure that the biohazard has been put in check. This is making sure that your chicken house has the foot bath where you disinfect before going in. Number 2, controlling of traffic. Do not let anyone who comes into your compound or comes to your farm to get in and blend with your birds. Sometimes these people have come from other chicken farms or chickens of their own, and they might be carrying diseases right into their farm. For us, even though we are traders, we just allow them to peep through the mesh. We do not allow our visitors to get inside because there is huge windows where they can be able to see what they need to do. The last thing is to always make sure that you have a secure house. Chicken are in high demand, which means that theft is a major challenge that you need to always be aware of. It is good to have a perimeter wall, first of all, and then to make sure that the chicken house is under lock and key, and selected people have access to that key. We don't want you to lose any chickens. And of course, on the last thing is that when we go to many houses, we found dead museums. People who used to rear chickens, and because the cost of feed has gone so high because of, number one, things like COVID, the Ukraine war, we used to get a lot of grain from Ukraine, and the high cost of living leading to the high cost of feeds. Guys, you guys mnajua, the birds, the animals eat better than we do. You take a maize seed, we usually remove everything, the lipid, which is the fatty part of it. We remove the fiber, which is on top, and what is left for consumption as maize meal in our supermarkets, it's just the starch. And all the good stuff that is considered the waste is given as animal feed. So don't you agree that animals do it better than us? Anyway, that has been coming at a very high cost. But Farmer on Fire is here to show you how we actually do that. And I'm going to ask you to get your pen and paper and continue writing and taking down these notes on how you can adapt to the new changes in chicken farming.